What's going on? What's going on? Victor Adatiba here with MansaTek Training Academy, and I'm back for another episode of MansaTek Mindset Mondays. Really appreciate you guys joining us for today's episode. If you don't mind, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe so you get notified anytime we've got another Mindset Monday dropping, and you too can get your mindset right for the week. Well, if you haven't already noticed from the thumbnail and this classic shirt that I'm wearing for Back to the Future, and you may also notice today's topic is Back to the Future. Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies or favorite movie series of all time. It's definitely a classic. If you haven't seen Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 yet, you should definitely check that out after today's episode. So in the movie Back to the Future, the main character, Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, travels back in time to the 1950s. And with the help of Dr. Emmett Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, he's got to figure out how to get back to the future. This movie provides a very unique perspective on achieving one's goals or dreams. What if we could travel forward in time to see our own future, so that we could see what we needed to do today in order to achieve those dreams tomorrow? Right? Just take a moment. Imagine this with me. If you could take a trip to the future and see yourself living the life of your dreams, right? You've got everything that you wanted. If you want to be married, you're married to the partner of your dreams. You're driving the car of your dreams. You're living in the neighborhood, in the home of your dreams. You're able to take care of your children or your parents or your family, whoever it is you want to take care of, because money is no longer an object. It's a beautiful life, right? But the question you may ask yourself is, how did I get here, right? How did I achieve this life? How did I create this beautiful life that I'm living? What were the things that I did to get here? What steps did you take to make this future a reality? And so by going back into the past and bringing that information back to the future, you can identify those steps and start taking action today to make your dreams a reality. So how do you take a trip to the future? Well, in Back to the Future, Marty took a trip inside an '89 DeLorean that was kitted up with a flux capacitor and all of these other gadgets. You guys can see my lights in the back in honor of, again, Back to the Future, right? But most of you probably don't have an '89 DeLorean or a flux capacitor. And so your mode of transportation to the future is going to have to be a little bit different. And so that trip to the future is going to start with having a clear vision of what it is you want. So take some time, relax. Sometimes this looks like going on a vacation. This may look like taking a break from work. This may look like just daydreaming, taking a walk, driving through neighborhoods that inspire you. I'm really big on visualization and driving through neighborhoods and going to car dealerships and going to look at, maybe luxury items that I may want to one day purchase in the future. This last month, because it's May 1st, but last month, me and my wife took a trip to Toronto. I took her to Toronto for her birthday. We went to see a Lil Wayne concert, and Drake opened up for Wayne and came out and closed with and for Wayne as well. And Drake is a Toronto native, and I don't know about you guys, but I've seen photos and video of his home, his Toronto home online, and it's impressive to say the least. And so we took a drive through the neighborhood to look at some of the homes that were in his neighborhood and also see his home, right? This is the type of visualization and aspirational thinking that people should do to help plan that future that they want. Seeing these things actualized help you create the life that you want and have a clearer vision. And so it's important that we understand and we know the power of visualization. Then we got to ask ourselves, what is our end goal? Maybe everybody's goal isn't to have a massive, beautiful home. Maybe your goal is to have acreage somewhere and to have a farm and to live a simpler life. Maybe your goal is to be debt free. Maybe your goal is to pay off all of your student loans or pay off your home, right? Your current home. Maybe your goal is to put your children into a position where they don't have to worry about how they're going to pay for college, maybe like you did. So no student loans. You can pay for it straight out of your own pocket, or maybe you've created a educational savings account for your children, right? What is your end goal? What does success look like for you? Well, in the movie, and I hate to ruin it for you, and I'm going to talk about all three movies like they're the same. Because in Back to the Future 1, Marty went to the past and he saw his parents in high school and how they met and dated. Back to the Future 2, Marty went into the future and he saw himself and he saw who he was married to in the future and the life that they lived and the neighborhood that they lived in. And then in part 3, Marty went even further back into the past, back to the Wild Wild West, right? And so I'm going to talk about all of these as if they're the same, but knowing what success looks like for you is extremely important. For Marty, success was him wanting to marry his high school sweetheart, was him not having a job or a manager or a boss that treated him like his father was treated in the current time. What does success look like for you? It's really important that you get extremely clear on that, so that the path that you blaze for yourself always keeps that vision of success as your North Star. Because without a North Star to guide you, to help you, to move you in the direction that you should be moving in, you could be lost and wandering. You could be sailing across the ocean in circles, never to reach land. So it's really important that we identify what that North Star is and understand what success looks like, so that as we make steps that progress us towards that success, we understand or we know that we're getting closer, right? There's no question in our mind that we're getting closer and more successful and almost reaching that end goal. So once you got that clear vision, you can start to work backwards to identify the steps that you need to take there. Start with the end in mind and then work backwards to identify those steps. I was never the strongest math student in grade school. And so addition was cool. Subtraction was cool. Multiplication was cool. Division was cool. But the problem was, once you got through that kind of basic fundamental math, they want to put you in a class like pre-algebra and start introducing you to equations. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. What does that even mean? 5 times 6 plus 3 equals X. What is X? X is not a number. Well, X is a variable, right? And so the variable is all of the things that are going to get you to that end goal. And sometimes they'll give you the answer in a math equation, right? The math equation might say a times x plus 3 divided by 2 equals 78, right? So they've given you the answer. They've given you the end. They've given you the destination. And the variable is, how do you get there, right? How do you get to this destination that you want? And so for me personally, in the algebra and the pre-algebra classes, those algebraic expressions were more difficult for me than real life is. It's much easier for me to see an end goal, to see a destination, and work out in my mind, how do I get to that thing? How do I achieve that? Oftentimes it's consistency. Consistency will help you get there. Oftentimes it's reflection, looking at what you did wrong and adjusting, making iterative changes in the right direction. Because you can't stop with just visualizing. You've got to take action. You've got to take action on those steps today, in the present, to get you to the future. Because you can't wait for the future to arrive before you start taking action. Otherwise, it's too late. So you got to start today. Start one step at a time, one small step at a time. And each of those steps will help you get to creating the future that you want. Marty McFly in the movie Back to the Future had some difficult choices that he had to make and some obstacles that he had to overcome, some bullies that he had to defeat. Biff, right? And so in your life, as you're making this journey, as you're attempting to make these changes and take these steps towards that end goal, it won't be without distraction. I can guarantee you that there will be hurdles that you face. There will be obstacles in your way that will try to stop you or impede your progress from that end goal. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to take some perseverance. It's going to take some belief. It's going to take you making some risks, taking some risks. But don't let fear hold you back. Don't let fear paralyze you from making the steps towards that future that you want to see. You got to believe in yourself and you've got to trust the process. So Back to the Future isn't just a fun movie to watch. It's also a powerful reminder that we have the power to create our own future. By taking a trip back to the future, we can see the steps we need to execute today and to achieve what we want tomorrow. So let's start taking these steps today and create the future we want for ourselves, for our family, and for our legacy. Once again, Victor Adatiba, MansaTek Training Academy. Leave me a comment. Let me know what an episode of Back to the Future looks like for you. What do you need to work backwards to figure out how to achieve? Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I appreciate it. Peace.